Hi, it's Katrina. From an ancient skull to a potential World War III fallout shelter, here are 10 of the strangest things ever found in Antarctic ice. Number 10. An ancient skull. The oldest human remains ever discovered in Antarctica were found in 1985. It was the skull of a mysterious woman found on Yamana Beach in Antarctica's South Shetland Islands. This skull belonged to an indigenous female from Chile who had died in her early 20s. She died between 1819 and 1825 at a camp created by seal hunters. Back in the day, hunting seals was big money. But the big mystery here is what exactly was this young woman doing at a sealing camp back in the early 1800s? There has been absolutely no documentation found revealing the woman's identity, but this random female's bones could play a huge part in territorial claims for the pristine wilderness of Antarctica as nations across the globe prepare to do what's necessary to take it over. The Antarctic Treaty System, which basically says that nobody has any right to claim Antarctica as their own until 2048, will soon run out. This treaty was signed in 1959 by the 12 countries whose scientists have been active on the continent. It is a type of promise that the continent shall be devoted to peaceful investigation and cooperation, and that any activity relating to mineral resources is prohibited. When the treaty expires, Antarctica could in theory be exploited. Since the oldest human remains in Antarctica belong to someone from Chile, the country will probably use her as an excuse to stake their claim, saying that they have had people in Antarctica longer than anyone else. No other old bones have been found on the continent as of yet. In less than 30 years, the fate of Antarctica could be changed forever. Right now, scientific research is thriving, but as the date gets closer, the treaty could begin to fracture as countries might be willing to fight to take it for themselves. Number 9. Wildcard volcano. Underneath the melting ice shelf of Antarctica lies a huge, warm surprise. Scientists have found an unexpected volcano, and an active one at that. Scientists are saying that while rising temperatures are still a huge contributor to the Antarctic ice shelf melting, active volcanoes hidden beneath the ice may be acting like a wild card that are also helping the ice to melt faster. Believe it or not, West Antarctica alone is believed to be home to over 100 volcanoes, but scientists have been unable to find them all. It was during a survey in 2014 that a team of scientists from Britain and the US stumbled upon this one while investigating how warm ocean waters affect the ice shelf. Scientists used chemical data from water samples to reveal that the volcano is active and is currently heating the Pine Island Glacier, which just so happens to be one of the fastest melting glaciers in the area. It's important to understand that there have been no eruptions in Antarctica for over 2,000 years. However, that doesn't mean that one couldn't happen in our lifetime. The Antarctic ice sheet has been around for tens of thousands of years and has so far been unaffected by volcanic activity happening right underneath it, according to Rob Larder with the British Antarctic Survey. But if one of these volcanoes were to have a catastrophic eruption, it would mean an almost instantaneous melting of the Antarctic ice sheet and a subsequent rise in ocean levels that is unprecedented. Number 8. Suspicious alien bunker. A discovery using Google Earth has revealed something strange hiding underneath the Antarctic ice, and the discovery has sparked theories of alien life forms. These latest images reveal an area of snow hiding what appear to be tubes woven in an intricate pattern. While the phenomenon could be natural, it might not be. The weird patterns stretch for miles and miles across the ice, baffling experts and enthusiasts alike. Some have claimed these tubes could be evidence of a massive alien structure hidden underneath the ice because they almost look like the grill of a giant radiator. Some have speculated that what we're seeing in the images is proof of an alien defrosting system, part of a much larger underground base, possibly installed beneath the ice thousands of years ago. As of right now, scientists believe it is a natural phenomenon, and very little else is known about it. Since these places are so remote, it's easy to spot all kinds of things via satellite, but it's much harder to see what it is in real life. Number 7. Giant underground cavern. NASA recently shared that they have discovered a giant underground cavern in Antarctica that is nearly the size of Manhattan. The cavern is sitting where 14 billion tons of ice once dominated the landscape. All that ice has melted in just the last couple of years. Located on the Thwaites Glacier in West Antarctica, scientists have known about its degradation for many years. NASA's Operation Icebridge, a program which uses planes equipped with radar to fly across Antarctica and map glaciers and ice sheets, was the one to make the discovery. The radar used by NASA is so strong that they are able to see through ice to map the glacier all the way to the bedrock. Using this information, scientists are able to understand how quickly glaciers are melting and even what's happening far beneath them. In this case, radar revealed a gigantic cave. This cavern has opened up between the top of the glacier and the bedrock that it sits on. The cavern is probably filled with very warm air, and this has triggered quicker melting than previously anticipated. But you probably want to know what happens if the glacier melts. Pretty much Armageddon. When the glacier melts, the sea level will rise about 2 feet, and because the Thwaites Glacier holds back a huge portion of the rest of the ice sheet, more ice will quickly melt and the sea level will rise another 8 feet. That's 10 feet total. So if you have a house near the water, better start preparing. But what's really alarming scientists is how fast this hollow cavern appeared. It first revealed itself in 2012, but has grown in the last handful of years to the size of Manhattan. Number 6. The football egg. The fossil of the second largest egg ever discovered on Earth was found in Antarctica. This egg was laid by an enormous sea monster and would have been about the size of a football. And while that might not seem impressive, it actually is. This is the largest soft-shelled egg ever found, and it probably belonged to a mosasaur 68 million years ago. To date, this is the only potential mosasaur egg ever found by scientists. According to senior researcher Julia Clark, working with the University of Texas at Austin, there is no other egg like this anywhere on the planet. It's not only exceptional in its size, but also in its structure. As for how the egg was found, it was discovered by Chilean researchers in a stream in 2011, just a couple hundred feet away from the remains of a massive mosasaur on Seymour Island in Antarctica. Yet even though the egg was found so close to the dinosaur, experts have not been able to 100% certify that the egg is indeed a mosasaur egg. They actually called the fossilized egg the Thing, after the horror movie from the 80s. The only other egg bigger than this one came from an extinct Madagascan elephant bird. With a name like elephant bird, you know this thing was huge. So far, the Thing has been the only egg ever discovered in Antarctica. But surely that will change as more ice melts and paleontologists are able to dig more fossils out of the ground. Number 5. World War III Fallout Shelter. A mysterious military base has allegedly been spotted in Antarctica. This base is just shy of 2 miles long and consists of at least 22 structures. These structures have been revealed thanks to thawing ice in Antarctica, and some people are claiming they are secret installations built in anticipation of World War III. Conspiracy theorists claim that the structures revealed beneath the ice were funded by the globalist elites and will be used for them to take shelter when things hit the fan. The closest official station is 200 miles away from where these structures were spotted, so basically, they're in the middle of nowhere. Believe it or not, these structures were not spotted recently. The first clue came in 2001, when melting ice revealed the faintest outline of something man-made beneath the ice. Then, in 2009, these structures became more visible. In 2013, some people spotted a runway and an unknown operations center. There appears to be some kind of airport and a large building mostly covered in snow. Nobody knows who built the installation or what its purpose is, whether it's a forgotten Nazi stronghold or indeed an emergency bunker for the next big war. But one thing everyone can agree on is that it's definitely not a naturally occurring structure. Somebody built it, hid it, and now the ice is revealing it. And now for number 4, but first, it's shout-out time! Want to give a big thank you to Chelsea Brothers and the girls. Thanks so much for supporting Origins Explained. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because why not? Number 4. Mysterious Hole. Besides enormous caverns and possible Nazi bases, now a huge hole the size of Kansas has recently been spotted in the Antarctic ice. The hole was first about 3,700 square miles, but within a short period of only 6 weeks, the hole grew to become 30,000 square miles. This kind of hole is known as a polynya, a huge pit of unfrozen ocean surrounded by solid ice. But what's really weird about this giant hole is that it appeared before in 1974, but then froze over and wasn't seen again until 2017. As of right now, scientists have no idea why the hole froze over and then opened back up. The best information we have comes from a team of scientists led by Diana Francis from New York University, who says that cyclones are behind this natural phenomenon. The scientific team used satellite observations to learn that cyclones and intense winds cause ice to be carried out of the region. On the Beaufort scale, these cyclones are Category 11. The winds carry off ice and open up massive holes that sometimes don't freeze up again. What's dangerous about this is that scientists believe cyclones will become more frequent in the future, and their winds are so strong that they rip apart the ice. This is almost as bad as the ice melting, since a hole that's too big won't freeze over again with the mild temperatures. Number 3. Ancient artifacts. Scientists in Argentina discovered giant stone structures and other ancient artifacts estimated to be at least 4,000 years old while investigating a remote region of Antarctica. This discovery revealed the first physical evidence of an ancient civilization living on the continent of Antarctica ever. At the time the discovery was made, it was hailed as the most important archaeological find of the century. So what happened? Why have we barely heard about this? The team was led by geologist Scott Amundsen from Wyoming State University. The stone structure discovered by Scott and his team was roughly the size of an ancient Roman amphitheater. Researchers have also discovered the remains of a columned structure that could have stood nearly 100 feet tall. Thanks to the dry Antarctic climate, many of the artifacts were almost perfectly preserved. Some of these artifacts included balls made from seal hide, sticks that were used as some kind of tool, and coins depicting penguins and unidentified reptiles. But unfortunately for everyone, this story ran in Science magazine on April 1st, 1998, which is actually April Fool's Day. So the entire thing was an April Fool's Day science story. Why? This seems like something that could have happened, and it's 100% believable. Scientists do know that Antarctica was once a balmy forest, and considering ancient people lived as far south as Argentina, it wouldn't be a huge surprise if we eventually found ancient human bones buried under the ice, would it? I hate April Fool's Day. Number 2. Remnants of a rainforest. 90 million years ago, dinosaurs roamed the Earth. During this time, Antarctica had no ice and instead was a warm rainforest. New scientific evidence has proved with certainty that Antarctica was a swampy forest bursting with life. Researchers made this discovery by using a giant drill to take a sediment core sample near the Pine Island Glacier. CT scans revealed amazing samples of pollen, forest soil, roots, spores, and much more. The pollen came from the first flowering plant ever discovered by humans so close to the South Pole. The soil came from the warmest period on Earth in the previous 140 million years. The surface of the ocean alone was probably 95 degrees Fahrenheit. The sea level, if you can believe it, was 558 feet higher than right now, and everyone's freaking out about a 2-foot sea level rise. Unfortunately, scientists have not been able to secure any concrete evidence about what the exact conditions were like at the South Pole during this time. But they do know that even during prolonged months of darkness, the swampy rainforest was still able to prosper at the South Pole, something that nobody could have imagined. Number 1. Exotic creatures. Scientists have now discovered some strange exotic creatures living in Antarctica that have been able to survive over 30 ice ages. The incredible organisms were found thousands of feet above sea level in the Trans-Antarctic Mountains, a place where researchers almost never get a chance to investigate. Ian Hogg and Byron Adams had to use a helicopter to reach the dry peaks hundreds of miles from the South Pole, where they focused their attention on Mount Speed. It took only minutes for the researchers to discover the exotic creatures. All they had to do was look under rocks and ta-da! Dozens of pale, six-legged animals smaller than apple seeds were moving between the sandy grains beneath the rocks. These critters had antennae, they were soft and squishy, and after being exposed to the freezing air, they died. These creatures have been named Tulbergia, and they live under rocks all throughout the Trans-Antarctic Mountains. They are a type of springtail, something you can find millions of in your backyard. Springtails are excellent at breaking down organic material, but just how they have been surviving in the remotest mountains in the world for thousands of years is a mystery that scientists have so far been unable to explain. The interior of Antarctica covers a surface area larger than Mexico and the United States combined. 98% of it is covered in ice, and yet springtails, mites, and worms have all been found hiding under rocks and in the soil of the Antarctic mountains. Some say they are leftovers from 90 million years ago, when Antarctica was a lush jungle. Thanks for watching! Which discovery was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time! Bye!